If you're playing the BSG Corporate Running Shoe Industry Simulation, you're going to be so glad you clicked on this video. Stay tuned. Hey guys, hey, I really know that this is not part of the wheelhouse that you're normally used to in the genre that I'm doing, but if you're doing the BSG simulation, the shoe sale simulation, this is going to be a godsend to you, because this is video number 3 of a series that I've started to really help you out, because man, I had a really rough time, but I fought my way through it and I really learned the system very well. So if you want to figure this whole thing out and relieve some of the stress, stay tuned. Okay, here we are in wholesale marketing, and there's a couple things that I want you to pay particular attention to. Your last year's price, the price that you're going to charge this year, also brand advertising, as well as retail support. Now the delivery time, that's going to depend on whether you need to have more shoes available or not. Usually delivery time you want to maintain around a 3. 4 is kind of like just for short bursts, but then come back to 3. Here is something that's extremely important, is retail outlets. And this is one of those things that you put a whole bunch of money forward hoping to get more outlets. You put your best foot forward, and if you're gaining outlets, that's terrific, because the next year you're going to capitalize on that. So in North America, I gained about 100, but look at this in Europe, over 1,000 that I gained. Same in Asia, about 1,300, and in Latin America, about 500. So this tells me that I did something really good last round to really entice those folks to carry my shoes. And I'm going to do a whole lot better this round, because I did my homework last round, and they want me, they love me. So that's really cool. Also down here, I didn't do so well because I sold out of shoes, in North America, minus 275. But this year, I've done some tweaking, and I believe I can have about 95 shoes left over, because I'm selling a great quantity. I mean, 6,000, 7,200 pairs of shoes. 95 is a really good spot to be in. If you're first starting out and you only have 2,000 to 3,000 shoes that you can produce, maybe go about 25, 35, around in that area. But once you start producing a lot more, you want to have a little bit extra left over in case something happens where your prices are somehow lower, and you can take advantage of selling those extras, but that you're not so far up there that you have a whole bunch of inventory left over. Okay? Okay, this is where we are going to start trying to figure out what we're going to do with marketing. Now, last year, let's say in North America, I did 15,500,000. And I've already done some crunching of the numbers, and I'm going to do 18.5 this round. Why? Because if I do, let's just say 1 million more. Sorry about that. If I just do 1 million more, look at our ending cash. I've got 9,444,000. If I spend 1 more million, oh hey, it jumped up 2 million. So let's go up to a little bit more. Let's go up another million. Let's see what happens. I'm at 11,875. Oh, I went down. Okay, I went down. So I'm right at my max, probably somewhere around 21 million. Yep, I'm at my max around 21 million. So I'm going to hang right there. And that is exactly how you gauge things. If you have everything set up, play with those numbers, see what happens to your bottom dollar, and if it increases a little bit, go for it. I mean, 21 million, you're thinking that's a lot. Well, of course, I'm pretty far ahead in the game. You're probably going to max out somewhere around 4 or 5 million maybe your first couple rounds. But play with the numbers and get acquainted to what they actually do. Okay, I'm also going to play around a little bit with retailer support. I shouldn't say play around. This is actually, I'm going to bump this up every year. Last year I was at 4750. I'm going to 6 million this year. Why such a large increase? Well, because I really want to hammer home and start gouging out retail outlets to sell my shoes, because when I do that, I can sell a whole lot more shoes and the demand is going to be a lot greater. So that is something that I want to do. That's something that I encourage you to do, is to incrementally increase how much you're given to retail support. It will pay for itself the following year with a whole bunch of extra shoes that you can sell. Trust me, it is a good thing to do. I also want to point out here that changing the brand advertising, look what it did to my projections for 2017. I'm now at a minus 60. Wasn't I just at like a plus 98 or something like that? Well, this is what marketing does. You'll able to sell more shoes, and oh, look at my projected market share. Up 1.1%. That's huge. That is huge. So keep playing with these numbers. And this is why I say you have to keep going back and forth to all of these different sheets, because you tweak the numbers here. Oh boy, I'm going to need to either produce more or I'm going to need to produce less. How am I going to do that? It is a constant game of balancing until everything finally reaches synergy. Okay? We good to go on that? Great. Okay, the last word about wholesale marketing. Down at the bottom where it has operating profit margin, make sure that you're at least making a profit. If prices are getting really, really close, I mean, hyper competition, such as the Latin American market, look, I'm only making 0.6%. 0.6, not even 1%. But I'm trying to hold that market. I've got a really good market share on it. I'm trying to hold it as best as I can, and I am selling. That is the thing. Is you got to sell. I mean, yes, you need to have a profit, but you got to sell the shoes, and I think that I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill it this time. So be careful of that. Don't try to sell at a negative profit, but don't expect that you're going to be getting, 20-30% unless the other people are just not paying attention to their prices. This brings us to internet marketing. Internet, market the heck out of it. You remember what you saw in the last part here about the profit margin? Let's take a look down here. Look at this. I was at 0.7%. That's 19.1. Okay, 30.5, 28.2. Internet is huge, huge. If you can nail the internet market, you're going to be making massive profit. So you want to sell as much as you can on the internet. You're basically cutting out that middleman, because after all, you're just a wholesaler. You're just a manufacturer of these shoes. The stores don't belong to you. Okay, so if you can sell these on the internet, awesome to you. You get to collect all that profit. But here's the thing. Those retailers don't like it if you're going below, if you sell below 40%. So you have to keep all of these at least at 40%. If you find this one, like I have a little anomaly here that's 42%, I need to drop that down. So I'm going to say, let me start it. Let's see what 73. Oh, 73 goes way down below. See that red mark? It says that, hey, that's not good. You're going to start losing retail support if you do that. So I'm going to start tweaking the numbers here to try to figure out where 40% is. 25. Nope, still not there. 75.50. Hey, I'm at 40%. And then if you want to, you can really dial it in and to figure out where exactly it is perfectly at 40%. And you can trim your prices down. I'm not going to do that, but you can trim it down to the penny if you want to, just at that 40% mark. Will it help you? Maybe it will. There's other things that you can do, like offer free shipping. Again, you can do search engine advertising. I would definitely do this because this just like the other advertising, you could definitely go up in what you're doing. Your ending cash could be quite a bit bigger. So take a look at that. I just increased it, and now my ending cash is $100,000 more. So be watching for these. Look and see what they do. It's just like the wholesale marketing, but you're doing search engines, and you're trying to get that 40% level, the 40% cost just above. The other things you can kind of tweak, go ahead and try it. Shipping is awfully expensive, so I chose to not do that. Okay, finally we're at private label production, and you're going to run your private label production just like you would with the superior materials and enhanced styling features. You're also going to have a global minimum that is going to say, I mean, right now mine is saying 5 is on the SQ rating is the global minimum. You're going to have to at least meet that. Now, you see that my star rating is quite a bit lower than my the shoes that I'm offering in the wholesale market. And that is because most everybody has kind of leveled off around 6. Even the guy that's way up there at 9, he's leveled off at 6. So my strategy was to be just above the average that I could afford. Here's the kicker. You have to sell your private label production $10 less than minimum than your average wholesale market. So it behooves you to watch what is the wholesale market price, and I go $10 less than that. If you go $10.01, I'm sorry, $9.99, guess what? No one is even going to make you an offer. It doesn't qualify. So pay particular attention to that. Go to the competitive analysis, figure out what the average is, put it at that average cost, or just below it, and then try to compete within those numbers what the price may be. Don't worry if you can't compete in a market. I haven't been able to compete in the European market since the second year because the prices were so low in the European market. I couldn't make private label shoes and ship them in. It was just too costly for me. So I've never been in that market. Don't worry about it. You're not going to make that much profit anyway in the private label market. You're just basically going to be selling the rest of your shoes to maximize your production. That's really all you're doing, okay? And here's the last word about your proposed private label production. Make sure to, whatever is left, max production, whatever is left, because you don't know if these contracts are going to be taken or not. They may only take a part of it. You just want to throw out as many as you possibly can, whatever you have left. If they take it, great, because you sold shoes and hopefully you sold it at a profit. If they don't take it, that's okay. It's okay. So I have 400 pairs left. I put 400 into North America. I had 400 out of my overtime that I did not allocate for wholesale production, and I have 400 left in Latin America. The reason why my numbers here are so low is because I really need to bump up my branded production, my wholesale production, and that's what took. I actually used some overtime to bolster how many shoes that I was making. Now I am producing 4,000 more units in property next year, so I'll be able to put some equipment in there, which will help me, and I can push back up my private label sales and not have to run a lot of my overtime shoes into the wholesale market. I almost forgot one last thing. Okay, down here at the bottom, you see where it says yes, no, yes, yes. Okay, I like to keep these at a no to begin with. Okay, I keep these, push these all back to a no, because I don't know if I'm going to get the contract or not. And then I go over to, well, what is my projected performance? Ooh, I'm 6 cents less than my expected, or my earnings per share than investor expectation. I just take a look at here. Now, this is worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. If it is very likely that you're going to sell these shoes, you've priced them right, they're within tolerances to be accepted. You don't have 1,200 pairs that you're trying to off, and you know that you can only sell 400. Then go down here and click these as a yes. If you know that you're going to pretty well sell most of those. If you don't click those as a yes, those will not show up as your predictions, and you won't make your bullseye award or bullseye points. If these are added into your predictions, then yes, you will. But like I said, if you have one that's 1,200 and you're only going to sell 400, nah, don't click yes on that one. Just leave that one a no. Click the other ones yes that you know that you're going to do a little bit better on. All right, that should do it with private label. On to the next topic. All right, the very last item to talk about is the finance and cash flow. I've had issues with this in the beginning, and I'm being risk adverse. I was only using the 1-year bank loans, which was really messing me up. It was really messing me up, so don't do that. If you do that, you're going to cause your risk to default ratio to go way high, and then all of a sudden you're going to be paying some huge interest rates. So you notice here I have a 10-year loan. It's $135 million. Don't freak out. Again, don't be so risk adverse. Do the things that you need to do. Go get a loan. Have somebody else pay for it. Okay? You're making these improvements with other people's money. Okay? I also, over here, if you look, I also bought back a high interest loan. I mean, this is at an 8.0 interest. That's back when I had, a high default rate. And then what is this interest rate 10-year? It's a 7.3. So I rolled that $101,500,000 loan into what I needed this year and took out a $135 million loan. I have an ended projected balance of $18 million, almost $19 million. I think that's a pretty good cushion. You don't want to have too much cash because you'll get raked over the coals when it comes to income tax. So you want to keep your cash fairly low. You don't want to run out. You don't want to go goose egg, but you don't want to go way, way over as well. So buying back stocks. I am repurchasing 750,000 stocks this year. So that's, of course, why my 10-year loan is up high. I recommend purchasing back stocks when you think it is prudent. If your stocks somehow jump up to $240 a share, may not be a good time to buy those stocks. Might be a good time if you're expecting a loss next year to sell some stocks. But either way, the more stocks that you buy, the less shareholder equity is going to be out there. And it's actually going to be a reverse. So for every 1,000 that you buy, that denominator gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay, so it makes your return on equity a whole lot better. Because remember, income divided by shareholder equity is return on equity. So if you can get that down, you can get your return on equity up, and that will help you. If you want to bolster your shares, you might want to offer a dividend. Me personally, I never did because, hey, I'm in a growing business and I can't afford to offer dividends. I put it instead into charity, which increases my image, Now, there are people that go ahead and offer dividends, and it does increase it increases their share value. So, to each their own. But that is basically it. I mean, don't be afraid to get big dollar loans. I mean, I've had $200+ million loans before. It's okay. You're building. You're going to be putting in infrastructure. It costs money. Don't be risk adverse. Make sure to do it. Also, don't be risk adverse when it comes to getting the options. Option D, the robotics in North America. Think about it. Also, the SQ options. Those things are costly. So you're going to have to pay for these things. This is the way to do it, is to get the 10-year loan. It will really help you out, and it'll give you the cash you need to excel beyond your competition. All right, the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the footwear industry reports. You've got to go through these. I think the most important one here has got to be the financial statistics. And this is going to tell you what your competition is doing. It's almost like cheating. It's awesome. You can go in there and see what their profits were, what their costs were, how much income tax they paid, all this stuff. And you can really find out a lot of good information about what is going on with the other companies and gauge how well you are doing against those other companies. You can also, if you're smart about it, you can go, they really took out a lot of debt that time. I wonder what they purchased. You can start putting two and two together and trying to figure out, they purchased this. They're going to be killing the market with a whole bunch of shoes or whatever. If you're a low-cost leader, that's what you want to do, is get a whole bunch of stuff, produce a whole bunch of stuff and put it at the very lowest cost. But you have to produce a lot in order to make that happen, and you have to have the lowest price to make that happen. If you don't, then that's just not going to work for you. Maybe you want to be the high end. There was a guy in our class that he just went high end all the way, and he smoked just about all of us. I am catching him, and I am passing him, or I will be passing him in the next year or two. But when I finally got a clue and switched my strategy and stopped being so risk adverse, he dropped 40% in ROE in 1 year. Yep, that's how you do it, brothers and sisters. Take care. I'm Dave Anderson. I'll catch you guys later. You guys be safe out there, and God bless. If you really learned something, I'd really appreciate it if you would go ahead and push that like button down there. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you would subscribe. That is how you support this channel. Please leave your comments. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can. Hopefully, if you have any questions, I'll answer those as best as I possibly can as well. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did too. Take care.